Hi, so this is the Ghostly Greetings card that I've cased from the lovely hook, line and inker. It's using the My Favourite Thing Ghostly Greetings, obviously, that's why I've called it that. So the start of this is actually a blended background. Now it's going to go behind this die cut circle that I've cut out. It's just a 5.5 by 4 1/4 card blank. These are the inks I'm using, but because I know that you guys have a nightmare watching me do blending, I decided to do that with a quick pause. So what I'm doing now is taking some water and just trying to get some droplets off my sprayer, just to do a nice mottled background, so you can see when I then press on it with the kitchen roll, it's actually bringing it up and giving it like a little faux bleaching effect. The card that I'm casing, she did just spray it down, but I did a test of that and it didn't work quite as well for me with these particular ink pads. So I decided to go with my splotching technique, which I think ends up looking really nice on this card. If you look through there, it looks kind of like a night sky a bit. So I'm going to pop that to the side to dry and make sure I put my lid back on my water bottle because I don't want to be knocking that all over the desktop. And then I'm taking my stamping platform and positioning what will be the front of my card, just using some tape to do it. It does take quite a bit of effort for me to do this, I'm not going to lie. It's not the best stamping platform in the world. I am popping a Misty on my Christmas list, I think. So I'm going with the Ghostly Greetings stamp, which is the namesake of the stamp set. So I'm just taking that off and positioning it the way I want it. And it's got a really sticky back to it, so it took me a bit to get my nails off it. And then just picking that up. As you can see, it is really not going quite so grand with my stamping platform, but needs must, and it's the best that I've got at the moment. So using my Favourite Things Extreme Black ink, excuse me, do apologise, got a little bit of a tickle today. Just going over it twice just to get a really nice crisp image. And then for the other stamping I needed to do, I totally decided to put the stamping platform away because it was driving me absolutely mental by this point. So just get that out of my way. So the images I decided to use were the smaller of the two tombstones. My friend did use the slightly larger one. And I did intend to use a different ghost, but I think when I was just peeling them off, I didn't pay attention to what I was doing and peeled a different one to the one I wanted. But by the time I realised I'd done that, I'd already stamped it, so I decided to just roll with it. So I'm just using my Nina cardstock on my Crafter's Companion stamping mat. And I'm just using my little stamping block for this. And again, this is my Favourite Things Extreme Black. Thank you so much for the recommendation for this ink. It is really nice to stamp with and it colours beautifully. So there's my ghost. Quick clean and move that out of the way. And then in with my little tombstone, which I really love. I do really like these tombstones, they're dead cute. And then just need to pop the rest in peace on my tombstone. So there that goes. Just doing this by eye because I haven't obviously got my stamping platform to do it with because it would have taken about 16 million times as long. Maybe slightly exaggerating, but it would have taken a chunk longer. So that's getting moved out of the way and a bit of paper put underneath. So for the ghost, I decided to just use my ice blue tri-blend, just the palest one in there, just to go around the edge, just to give him a little tiny pop of colour. I did debate just leaving him pure white, but I felt like he deserved a little something because, you know, he's going on the front of the card. He's the star of it, really, to be fair. I did use my just clear blender just to try and blur him ever so slightly with that blue. It doesn't make a huge difference, but I thought if I just gave it a go around, and it does dry ever so slightly blurrier, which is nice, but I do like him with a little touch of blue. I think it just adds something to him. I then used my Ice Grey blend, which is actually the palest set of the ice greys in the tri-blend section, to colour in the tombstone. Because I didn't want it too dark behind the rest in peace. So I did colour the whole of this in this particular marker. However, once I'd finished colouring it in, I didn't feel like it was dark enough. I liked the way it was over the RIP part, so like the actual writing part of the headstone, where you would normally have like your person and your dates and all that lot. But for the outside, I decided it was a little bit too pale. So you will see me once I finish colouring all this in, grabbing another marker and actually going over the top of it. So I went with the ice grey blends over the top of everything, just to give it a bit of an actual distinction between the two sections of the headstone, because I do like the way the lighter ones work over the RIP. It makes it pop quite nicely, which I like. But you see what I mean? It's all a bit, it's not got enough differentiation in the tones. So here's me going, oh no, I'm grabbing the other marker. And I am much happier with the way that it looked once I had darkened it up a bit with the other marker. And to be fair, they blended really nicely, because obviously there was already a nice coat of alcohol down on the paper once I started using that blend. So it went rather quickly and nicely. When I go to die cut these, I do pause the recording again, just because no one wants to see me die cut a couple of images out. And again, it does shake my desk ever so slightly, and I don't think you want to watch the desk shaking again either. So that's going to get paused in a second, but I do much prefer the way that looks now. It's got the nice darker outline. I hope you agree with me. If not, sorry. So yep, there's the little images all nicely die cut. So now it's just a case of putting it together. So I'm using my tape pen on the back of the die cut section with the sentiment on. Lots and lots of tape, because I don't want that to come up at any point, because that would annoy the living daylights out of me. I'm a great believer in tape. And I'm just going from the top down, just because it's easier to line up from the top. Sorry, that wasn't the most beautiful lining up. And I really am pleased with the way that background looks as well. It's the first time I've tried the faux bleaching, so I am super pleased with that. I was just trying to work out exactly how I wanted those positioned on there. So I decided to use just my pinflare glue to stick down the tombstone, just on the bottom. But as I say, the ghost is my little star. I love him to pieces. I think he's so adorable. So I did decide to use my foam pads rather, to make him stand out just that little bit more. The only ones I could find were my really, really big ones when I'd suddenly decided to do this halfway through filming. So one nearly does his whole back, so I have to get the scissors out to cut the next one. They are incredibly sticky, and you'll see they keep sticking to my fingers, which is a good thing, I suppose, because it means it's going to stick nicely to the card. There was a tiny bit poking out the top, so I just cut that with the scissors as well, and then stuck him down. And I've got to say, I am super pleased with how this turned out. I hope I've done you proud, Hook, Line and Anchor. Thank you for letting me case it, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye.